Hello, hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 184 just dropped. And this chapter is called Run Denji because Denji does some running in this chapter. And it could also be a reference to Forrest Gump because in Forrest Gump, he runs and he runs as like a form of, escaping from his trauma and like getting away from his past almost. It's like a how do you say it? A cathartic, a victorious run, which is kind of what Denji is doing here as well. But anyways, so the chapter opens with Denji running laps around the lake, and Asa and Yoru wonders what he is doing. Yoru thinks that he is going crazy and that he is running from reality, which is not far off from what we were talking about. Only in that case, it's trauma instead of reality. But, anyways, as Denji is running, the aging devil appears, pops his head through some trees, and then tried to entice Denji into convincing Pochita to kill the kids. But Denji ignores him at first. The aging devil reveals that Denji's heart is connected to Pochita in the real world, which is something that he kind of figured out already last chapter. But this time, the aging devil kind of discloses his plan to, you know, eat the kids or kill the kids to Denji. However, Denji finally responds. He says that Pochita is not eating the kids because he is a superhero. He is a heroic being. And Pochita isn't willing to kill kids for selfish reasons. And in a way, this is kind of Denji almost putting Pochita on the pedestal, in that he's saying that Pochita is kind of implying that Pochita is better than him as a person, because Denji is willing to let others be killed during when he was like acting as a superhero. Because when he first showed up in part two, he let a bunch of old ladies and one younger man die just so he can look cool and save a cat. But the aging devil responds by noting that Denji almost seemed to be over Nayuta's death already, which is really fast because even though it's been like 10-ish chapters, maybe 15 chapters for us, for Denji, it's only been probably an hour since he saw Nayuta's head on the platter. And then the aging devil implies that Denji must not have loved her very much if he is getting over her this quickly. And Denji kind of he responds. He says that the aging devil knows nothing of their relationship, but he is going to get over her eventually. And Denji says that he'll find new family again, and if they die, he'll keep doing it. He will never quit finding family. And while in this case he's talking to the aging devil, in a lot of ways it's him responding to Makima, because Makima, in his final conversation with Makima, or maybe not final, the second to last, she threatened to kill everyone that he gets close to. His new friends, family, kids, wife, whatever. So in a lot of ways, this is Denji finally getting to retort to Makima's threats with confidence and with his chest out. He says that he's gonna be a perpetual motion machine. And again here, he's saying to give him a family again if they want to mess with his heart. Which is again, what Makima did to him the first time. So the aging devil concludes that Denji is really dumb, and then rhetorically asks Denji what his plan is to get out of the world, out of his world. To which Denji responds that his plan is already happening, and the chapter ends. So, what is Denji's plan? A lot of readers seem to think that Denji's plan is to exhaust himself by running and then throw up out of exhaustion and hunger, and then possibly get Pochita to throw him out in the real world. However, I don't think that's going to be it at all. Because if you remember when we first got into the Aging Devil's world, the first guy pretty much straight up said that you can't get hungry in this world. So like Denji can't get hungry by doing that. Maybe you can argue he can like throw up out of exhaustion, perhaps. But I don't necessarily think that's going to be it either, because he is planning on getting himself and Asa out, and not just himself. So I think that's a big no-no as for the throwing up plan. So what I think is going to happen is that, so let's go back to last chapter, right? We see that Pochita is able to make himself throw up, and then Denji throws up in the mirror world, in the Asian world as well. And in this panel, you kind of see that Denji and Pochita have very similar poses here. So what I'm getting out of this is that whatever Denji or Pochita does in one world, the other will like copy their moves exactly. So they are basically, mirroring each other. So my take on this is that Denji realizes that whatever he does, Pochita's gonna do in real life. So that Denji is now running circles around the lake to create a barrier, to create a marker around where the Aging Devil is in real life. So he's literally using Pochita to run circles around the Aging Devil. And while that's happening, he's talking to the Aging Devil in the mirror world to keep the Aging Devil occupied in that world so that he can't see what's happening on Earth and then just move out of the way when he uses Pochita to eventually run the Aging Devil over and killing him. So what I think Denji's going to do next is that he's going to start swimming. Because if the Aging Devil is in one of the circular spots, one of the spots in the circle, and Denji can just swim in a zigzag motion back and forth until Pochita eventually hits the Aging Devil in the real world. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen, and an idea that I haven't seen anyone else bring up yet. But yeah, that's about it from me for the week. A pretty short chapter, even though there's a lot of character stuff going on. But yeah, let's see, got some comments today. Let's see what we got. Denji's resolve of getting a new family makes sense. Denji got a new family after his dad died, after Pochita died, after Aki and Power died. Let's see. Pochita doesn't care about killing kids. He's just following Denji's wishes. I'm not sure about that, but it's hard to say because we never seen Pochita without, meeting Denji. Let's see, you got 3 theories. First, Denji is running till he throws up. Second, Denji is tired from hurting his body to trigger the Aging Devil. He's healing, which it would affect Pochita. Third, Pochita ate a bug devil. He did eat a bug devil. I'm not really... Maybe he's trying to... I guess you're trying to say maybe he's trying to throw up the other devils to make it work. Make them do stuff. Perhaps. See, foreshadowing of Yoru of Chainsaw Man throwing up nuclear bombs might happen if Denji's plan is throwing up devils in the mirror world. Uh, I don't think that's. I think that's eventually gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna like happen now. I think it's gonna happen at the end of part two. Determined Denji is so sweet. Duh, duh, duh. He is. Denji is always sweet. Pochita might also make Denji throw up the centipede devil and contaminate the tree, but that's too detailed. Here's the thing, I don't think Denji knows like which specific devils that Pochita's eaten while he took over. So I don't think any of Denji's plan is going to revolve around like Pochita throwing up certain devils. Denji running to safety. We're trying to get some blood. I do think Pochita's gonna, if my idea works out, Pochita's gonna get some blood just by the fact that there's like a lot of dead people in the area. So I think the next time we see Pochita, he's gonna get his legs back. Let me see. Wonder how Asayoru's gonna get out. Yeah, that's my issue with the whole throwing up theory, is that Asa and Yoru aren't really included in that. Because if Denji gets out, there's no way to guarantee that, you know, he's gonna, like, the aging devil is gonna let Yoru and Asa out. But I think Pochita cares about killing kids. He's been around Denji since he was little and definitely had some care and also picked up humanity from Denji. Well, aside from that, it's like Pochita, we never seen him kill people that didn't deserve it. I guess you can argue like the fast food workers, like Kobeni's co-workers, they were mostly innocent. Actually, there's like a couple that really didn't deserve it, but like from Pochita's logic, right, he's saving her from getting bullied by her coworkers and the customers. So in his head, that might be like a justifiable kill. But we don't know how Pochita thinks even now. Let's see, maybe death devil summoning. You need a bunch of dead kids or something. I do think that the Mirror Devil's like need for killing kids is a lot more than just, you know, just doing it for the love of a game. I think he definitely has like an ulterior motive. Because as we know, like the aging devil, he was keeping watch on Denji even before he was summoned. So he had an eye on the whole situation way earlier. So I think that's a good idea, like killing the kids to summon the Death Devil. Right now, we're in maybe like in the Chainsaw Man world, we're in maybe February. So ideally, like we still have maybe half a year before the Death Devil shows up. But if we remember anything from part one about Aki and his like death timer, it's that Fujimoto doesn't really stick to a vigorous schedule in terms of like what he promised. So I can definitely see that the Death Devil coming way before schedule. Yeah, I think that's a really, really cool take. Pochita attacked Denji when they first met. Well, he didn't really attack him. He kind of like barked at him. And then Denji offered his arm to Pochita to, you know, consume his blood to make a contract with Pochita. And then Pochita obliged. So he wasn't really, like, he didn't really attack Denji back then. The most you can say is that he threatened him. But even that is debatable. Pochita reacted to violence response. The burger staff yelled at Kobeni, so he reacted to their violence. Kind of. There was one guy that kind of like ran out and then he got the short end of the stick and just got beheaded. He definitely didn't deserve that. There was also lettuce, the guy that does like the lettuce and their what you call it, in their slogan. He got killed off screen, so probably didn't deserve it. Other than for no reason other than that Pochita doesn't like lettuce. Let's see. Have we already done speculation on what he's going to throw up to save himself? Well, my idea is that he's not going to throw anything up because he doesn't know what Pochita ate. So my idea is that he's going to have a, because he's going to, well, my theory is that Pochita and Denji's actions are going to mirror each other. So like whatever Denji does in the mirror world, Pochita's gonna do in the real world. So Denji's gonna run around in the circle and then run like back and forth until the Pochita in the real world runs over the aging devil that's also in the real world. But yeah, I guess that's about it for the comments for now. But yeah, kind of a short chapter. What if this plan just fails? I don't know, to be honest. I am open to like staying more into the Aging Devils world. Cause cause we know that 80% or like 98%, like Yoshida was the other one who escaped. And I'd be curious to know how Yoshida got out, considering that he doesn't have a, portal to like the real world through Pochita like Denji does. So there has to be either Yoshida just talked the Aging Devil into letting him out, or there has to be another way out other than this. So there is a possibility that like this plan is going to fail and then Denji does whatever Yoshida did to get out. But narratively, I think it'd be kind of weird for Denji to like make a big showing of his newfound self-esteem, newfound, confidence, just to immediately get like faceplant. But yeah, that's about it for me. I think I dissected all I could out of this chapter. If there are no more comments, we can end this and then come back next week because there is again no break next week. So pretty cool. For the month of November, there hasn't been a bi-weekly schedule yet. So very fun. Thanks for participating, everyone, and I'll see you guys next week.